And here's another thing Congress is doing too. If audience, y'all haven't heard about this, Democrats voted unanimously to give illegal immigrants representation in Congress and in the Electoral College. Now, this is the way the bill is. It might sound a little confusing, but essentially, the Equal Representation Act, all Republicans voted for it, all Democrats voted against. It would require the U.S. citizenship question. Democrats claim that it would violate the 14th Amendment to require a U.S. citizen or require the Electoral College to only count U.S. citizens. And I don't know how in the world the U.S. Supreme Court agreed with that, but they did. So now it's going to fall on Congress to pass this. And in the Senate, I think right now it's 51 Democrats, 49 Republicans, but it did pass the House. But this just goes to show you every Democrat wanted this to happen. They want
to change Congress, right? Because they know now that they can be counted in the census, so the representation in all these and all these states is going to be greater because obviously the more people you have in the state, the more representatives you have. So it's going to not only is it going to affect Congress, but it's also going to affect us. There was the replacement theory. That was just another conspiracy, right? But if you look at the Western world right now, you see illegal immigration all over. If you look at the Netherlands, I think the Netherlands is about more than 70% illegal immigrants there. They've been taken over. They've been replaced. Sweden has been replaced. It's the majority of their population is now illegal immigrants. This is happening all over the world in the West. People are coming from war-torn third world areas, and they're killing the civilized Western world is what they're doing. They're just destroying our values, everything about our prosperity. They're turning peaceful nations into what will become war-torn. Because if you look at the areas where they're from, war-torn, they can never get along, right? If you look at especially in the Islamic countries, they're always at war with each other. Sunni versus Sharia, this country versus that country on that border. They're always at war. So makes me feel a little bit like the war machine may be getting involved to make a little more money, right? They can't make any money off these peaceful Western countries. So let's just turn them all into war-torn areas by importing the war-torn people and their ideologies into in the West. Let's turn them loose into the West, and eventually we can turn the war machine loose in the West.
Yeah, absolutely. Baffling. It is baffling. Senator Dick Durbin introduced a bill that would give illegal immigrants citizenship. And I'm not talking just like green card holders. I'm talking about people with no paperwork. If they jump straight into the military, they'll get citizenship because they're looking for bodies for World War III is what it sounds like to me. And you're right. They're destroying Europe. And it's the liberal single white women. It's not the married women. It's the single women that just disproportionately vote for Democrat policies. If you look at the map of the United States of if it were all men voting, like every state would be red except Oregon and maybe I think it was maybe Washington State. It's only like 2 states that would be blue. If you looked at a map of all of the married women how they voted, it's like 75% red, 25% blue. If you look at how single women vote, it's like 47 states would be blue and 3 states would be red. So the feminism movement is tied into like how they're voting, and the graphs show women are moving further left at a greater rate than men are moving further right, although men are starting to move further right.
It's I tell you, I was in London recently with my friend Tommy Robinson. We toured really the entire United Kingdom. We went through London, we went to Scotland, we went to Wales. They're having problems everywhere there. And I actually went to Tommy's hometown, and we were actually in traffic in Luton, which used to be predominantly white Christian. It's now basically all Muslim. And we were in traffic there, and I said, Tommy, because Tommy's well known in the UK. I said, what would happen right now if our car broke down? If you had to get out and get? He said, oh, we would be in trouble right now. We'd be in big trouble. He said, if we get caught in traffic here, and somebody recognizes me in this car, we're going to be in big trouble. But that's kind of how in a lot of Europe, especially in and around London, that they've transformed it, man. If you look at what Sadiq Khan has done there, he is obliterating London. London is no longer London. They've taken it from the Christians.
Yeah.
And they're just having to deal with it, man. It's really sad. And the liberals there are probably worse than the liberals here, because they aren't doing anything about it. And in fact, they go, I don't know how much you follow Tommy, but they go after him for nothing, for absolutely nothing. They go after him for playing a movie, and then they tell him he can't report on. They actually arrested this guy just for doing his job as a journalist at an anti-Semitism rally, where he was there just to report. He was sitting there eating breakfast, and they came and arrested him, told him he had to leave. And he said, well, I'm doing my job. Well, he actually won that court case. They pepper sprayed the guy for nothing. They had like 15 cops, had him cuffed, 15 cops, and then pepper sprayed him in the face for no reason. But that's how much the tables have turned there. Even